Welcome IED students. We are working with Inventor today, and this video will take you through the process of creating a multi-view drawing with Inventor. There are a few steps initially to get this set up that I'm going to walk you through today, and then you should be all set to go for future assignments where you need to create a working drawing, also known as a multi-view inside of Inventor. So here we go. First thing we need to do is we need to open a file, and we need to find the drawing file that I have actually placed into your Google Drive Inventor folder. So there's a template there. So we're going to go up to Open, and you should already be logged into AWS, the streaming service. All right, so from there, we're going to have to go to our Google Drive. And from there, we'll go to My Drive. Let that load and find your IED folder. And mine is simply called IED 2021, but I think yours is called IED with your last name attached to it. And I called mine IED CAD 2020, but yours should be called Inventor and followed by your last name. So if I go to that, what I'm looking for is a file that's placed in there that's called Inventor Drawing Sheet. And what you'll see is this little icon. Notice it's a little bit different. The icon for a drawing sheet looks more like a mini version of a multi-view drawing. Your part files all look like this blue icon. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on this to open it. And that should open up, and to know that you've got the right file, you'll notice that it says Waseca Blue Jays down in the very bottom left corner. All right, once we're here, the next step is very important. I don't want you to have to open this every single time. So what we can do is we can save this as a template within your drawing program on AWS. And to do that, we're going to go up to File, the orange button up here, File, and we're going to go Save As. Just hover over that. And what you're looking for is Save Copy as Template. All right, so I'm just hovering on Save As, and then I can slide over. There is Save Copy as Template. And you just want to tell it where it goes. We're going to put it into our, it should default that it's going to put you in your English US folder. Once it's there, we can just go ahead and hit Save, and you're good to go. Now, let's find out what we just did. I'm going to close this file for now because I want to start as if we were making a new drawing. I'm going to put this drawing, one of your part files, onto a drawing sheet. And to do so, we're going to go up here to New or Control N, and we are looking for Inventor Drawing Sheet.idw. Notice I've got a couple different ones there, some options, but we have just saved it as a template, and it's known as Inventor Drawing Sheet. If I double click on that, that same one's going to open shortly, but first you get this little box. We need to, it prompts you to automatically put in your name. So you would put your first and last name in here, and I'm just going to put Mr. Kushel because this is my drawing. Don't worry about the scale. I'm not worried about that, but I want you to put down here, you can put IED, and you can just put in 2020. I think it says enter class period, but we're just going to call it IED 2020. Since I only have one class of IED, that kind of makes that pretty simple. Hit OK, and if you get a window like this as style conflict, ignore that. You can just go ahead and hit OK and go right past that. Now, this will open up, and if I zoom in, my student name comes up. There's where I put in my name. It populates that file, that box on our title block. Teacher name as a default. I put that in there for you already. And let's see, we're going to put in, it puts this one in, class period IED 2020. When you put a part on here, it's going to populate the rest of these. The drawing name, whatever you named the file when you drew it, as an IPT or a sketch and then extruded it, it's going to use that file name. The date, it's going to populate here whatever date you initially drew this. So I'll middle mouse button twice to get this back in the center of our screen. Now we're going to go ahead and place a drawing on the sheet. To do so, we go up here to Base. Okay, we're in the Place Views tab. The easiest way is just go Base, and if you don't have a file currently open, you'll have to go search for it. So we can go to the search button here, open an existing file, and that puts me right back into our Google Drive Inventor folder. I am going to try and find, what do I call that? 1.3 Part 8A. It's one that you'll be drawing. So if I double click on it, or click on it once anyways, gets me a preview. Yep, that's the one I want. I can go ahead and hit open. It puts that view in there, okay? It places it right in the center of the screen. Well, what we've already learned in multi-view drawings is we don't want that in the center of our screen. I'm going to drag this menu off to the side a little bit so I can see our full drawing sheet. I want this guy down. This is my front view. I want it in the lower left. So what I do is I put my mouse over here, and if I have that cross arrows right by my cursor, you know, it's like a little arrows up and down and side to side, I can drag this front view into position. Okay, there's my front view. And our process is then we draw our side view. You could do that by just simply dragging over. Come back here, and if you want to put your top view in next, you slide that straight up as your front view. And I'm just doing a left click to place these. And then I always want to place an isometric. Put my isometric in the upper right-hand corner. Once I've got these four views placed, I go right click on my keyboard, on my mouse, and I hit OK, and it places these in place where we'd like them. I've got my front, top, and side view. The beauty of this, these are perfectly lined up, so I don't have to worry about construction lines. It does that for you. Now, a couple more things we like to do. I always want to have you place your isometric view as a shaded or a colored object. So I'm going to come up here, hover my mouse so I get this little red dotted border around it. And if I right click, as long as I'm in there, come up here to edit view. Okay, so basically I want edit view, and that puts me into this little menu, and I've got a few things I can change here. There are a few options. The first one says it shows hidden lines removed, and it shows shaded. On an isometric, we typically don't show hidden lines, so we'll leave it as hidden lines removed, but I want to add shading to it. If I move my mouse over here or go down to OK, click on that, and now I've got a nice shaded view of my isometric. Okay, let's go down here. These are a little bit small. I like to maximize the space on the screen. So same thing, I can go down here and I can right click once I have that red border around it. I'll edit my view again. Notice it has hidden lines clicked because in my multi-view, I always want to have the hidden lines in there. The only thing I'm going to change here is the scale. If I hit the drop down arrow, there are some preset scales. You can go half size, 1/4 size, otherwise it goes the other way, to the other direction. It can go to 2:1, 3:1, 4:1. Another way you can key that in is right where it says 1.1. As long as that's highlighted, I want it to be maybe 1.5 times. So 1.5, I just key in 1.5. And if I move over here, I can kind of see, yep, is that about the right size? It is. I click OK. It changes all three of these to be 1.5 times the original. Then I can just drag these down a little bit. If I'm going to drag this one over, just like that, your drawing is placed in and you're good to go. All right, if you look at this now, you've got a naming configuration at the top. I don't want to get too close, otherwise the AWS menu comes down, but it calls it 1.2.3 Part AB. Notice down here on the drawing part, it put my file name in. I made this part on the 26th of October this year, 2020, so it populated that for me. Now let's go up here and let's file and save, and that should take us back to our Inventor folder. Okay, 1.2.3a. Notice that the name is the exact same as what we named the part. The big difference, it's going to put a different file extension on. and we do drawing files. The extension is a .idw right here. So it's going to save it as a .idw. Okay, we can go ahead and hit save, and it'll take that same part number, but it'll call it IDW. Notice our icon's a little bit different. Now I've already saved this once, so if I hit save again, it'll just do the same thing. Yeah, it says it already exists. You want to replace it? Sure. And just like that, you've created your first multi-view drawing inside of Inventor. All right, and that is it for our tutorial. Thanks, guys, and look forward to seeing your work. See ya.